Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Sand Meat Market Jacob Willett Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the Chucky Doak baseball team. As always, I'm joined here with Black Knights head coach Jacob Willett. Coach, how are we doing today?
Doing good. Come off 2 big wins. We're feeling good.
It's a little cold outside today, is it not?
Absolutely. It's crazy how the weather, a couple of days ago we had a couple 80-degree days. Now we're down in the 40s, so the wind's kind of crazy here, and the temperatures are way down. But spring sports, man, stuff you got to deal with.
I mean, you could chill outside this past weekend in short sleeves and shorts, and now you got to bundle up outside, and it's 40 degrees with snow flurries this morning.
Absolutely. It's crazy, man. Crazy weather around Tennessee.
Rain, wind, everything involved. But you were able to get past a lot of that. I think the time we sat down last week, you had to work on the outfield a little bit before the West Green game. That got moved from Tuesday to Wednesday. Didn't matter what day you played it. Didn't matter what the field looked like. You still came out with a win in the end. A crucial win towards the conference standings. Another one-run win also. Talk about how great of a feeling that was to sweep the Buffaloes and get that crucial win over them.
It's an awesome feeling to go ahead and sweep West Green because that's a great baseball team. And going into that, we really didn't expect to sweep them because we've seen what they did throughout the year. So they have a pretty good team, a really good team actually. They got a really good team. We saw quality pitching. They played really good defense. They played really sound. And either game could have went either way. But we came out on top, both games by 1 run. It's crucial for us to come out with 1 run, now being in the position that we're at, that being the 1 seed. So huge results for us from that aspect. Really great execution throughout those games, great pitching. We have phenomenal pitching in both of those games. That put us in a great spot. Played really good defense. Pitching and defense really made the difference for us there with the 2 West Green games. The bats, they were hit or miss. We started to pick that up here over the last few days, but we didn't have that offensive output that we had over the past 2 days when we played West Green. So we had to execute at a really high level. We did that, and then going on to North Green, we did not do that.
And I know we'll talk about the Hampton series too in just a minute, where you were able to boast your conference record to 6-0, but we do have to talk about that North Green game first. Not the outcome that you would like in the end. I think it was a 16-2 loss there on Thursday. Talked to you after the game. You said there's a lot to work on. It seems that you were able to work or fix a lot of that when you went into the Hampton series. So talk about a lot of those things that you wanted to fix after that North Green loss.
Character. That's what we had to address. Character, attitude, and accountability. We had to address those things with our guys. It's not that we have the lack of ability or the lack of skills to compete with North Green. You look at the quality of baseball that we've played. What was we going into the game? 6-2, something like that.
6-2 with a 6-game win streak.
6-2 with a 6-game win streak, and the quality of teams that we've played in that 6-game win streak, or in that 8-game stretch, really, we played quality baseball. We've shown that we can compete at a high level. We go into that game, I think we were coasting a little bit. We got 2 huge wins for us against West Green to put us in first place in the conference, put us out in front. Might have been feeling ourselves a little bit, to be honest with you. Thinking we're better than what we actually are in reality. We're still pretty good, but maybe we were a little overconfident, lackadaisical, thought we could show up and win. That's a good baseball team that we played. Lowe does a great job with his guys. So we show up to the game. We're lackadaisical about our warm-ups. We're going through the motions. The game kicks in. We get off to a pretty good start. 2 runs in the first. We're feeling good about things. We get 2 runs across the board, leave a couple guys stranded. Got 2 runs across. As you've seen throughout the previous games that we've played, 2 runs usually puts us in a pretty good spot to win. But unfortunately, we come in the bottom half of the first. We struggled with command. Lincoln was throwing. Lincoln struggled. He didn't have his best stuff. Like you said, we'll touch into Hampton in a moment, but we threw him out against Hampton, faced 7 guys, 6 strikeouts. That's what we expect out of Lincoln. What we got out of Lincoln at North Green was he was a little chaotic with his pitches. He was spraying the ball everywhere, getting outside of his mechanics, loses composure. And that's really the theme of the day, was losing composure. He lost his composure. We pulled him out of the game, or pulled him off the mound, went to Luke. Luke did a decent job of competing in the strike zone, but we just weren't making plays. And I think we had 5 or 6 errors all year going into that North Green game. We had 6 or 7 in 1 game. Whereas we've played 8 games with 5. Now we have over doubled our errors on the year in 1 game. It's not a physical thing. We know the guys can make the plays. It's all lack of dealing with adversity and overcoming failure. That's what we got to address with our guys. So we get in our head on defense. We're thinking, oh no, hope the ball doesn't come to me. Well, then when we're thinking that, the ball's going to find you. And when the ball finds you, you're not in the right mindset to be aggressive and make a play. So that's what we had to iron out. We had guys have bad plate appearances. I think it was the second or third inning. We have guys throwing helmets, throwing bats. That's not how we do things. We got to be better on that aspect. So we made changes. We took some guys out because they couldn't carry themselves, not to the standard in which they're required to for our program. Would the score have been, what was it, 16, 18, 4?
16 to 2, I think.
16-2. Would the score have been 16-2 if we didn't make adjustments? Probably not. But at the same time, do we let it prolong or do we nip it in the bud now? And that's the goal, is to get these guys to realize the big picture. Sure, we could have hung around, maybe competed and made it a ball game if we just let guys do whatever they want, throw their stuff and throw a fit. But that's not how we're going to do things. And we got to get guys to realize that. And they're more than capable of upholding their standard, because they've did that for, what are we at, 10 games now? They've did it for we're at 11 games. They've did it for 10 out of our 11 games. That's really the one lapse that we had from a character and accountability aspect that we got to correct. So hopefully we got that corrected. Our guys know our standards and expectations. It being my first year, I've been transparent with what I expect of those guys. They understand it, but now maybe they see it. Maybe they see, oh, I dropped my head, the guy beside me drops his head, now the guy beside him drops his head. Now we got 9 guys pouting with their heads down instead of 9 guys playing baseball. And that's what we got to get to. And we can do that. Sure, it takes an adjustment because guys maybe not, they might have not been asked to do what we're asking them to do now. It's different for them. I get that. It's a challenge. But that's just how it's going to be. And I hate to sound arrogant or blunt about how, like, that's how it's going to be. But that's just the culture that we want to create, where there's values, there's expectations, and then there's a tradition that you leave behind for the next guys that come up and fill your spot. So that's what we want. That's what we want to establish here, and that's the culture that we want to create.
And it seemed like it was a perfect storm of everything going wrong in that game too. Like you mentioned, the amount of errors, not being able to put the bat on the ball in some cases too, the attitude issues. It just seemed like one of those games where nothing could go right in any certain situation.
But why is that?
You tell me.
I think you take action, you get results. You're passive and pouty, bad things are going to find you. Whereas if you go next play mentality, I boot a ball. So what? You know, I trust the preparation that you've put in to be in that position to make that play. You got to have that same kind of trust in yourself. You can make the play. That's why you're there. But do you think that, right? Because if I think that, but you don't think that, now we got a problem. But if we're both on the same page, oh, it's just a bad hop. So what? I'll go make the next one, no problem. That's the kind of, we got to have that mentality that we're going to miss a ball. MLB guys, they make errors. But is it going to snowball and be 2 or 3 errors now in the game? Or are we going to stop it right there at 1 and know that that's an anomaly? Those things happen. The next play I'll go make. That's where we got to get to. And that's when you talk about things going wrong, that's when it starts to spiral. When we're not hunting the baseball, we're trying to avoid the baseball. Now our pitchers rattle because we're making errors. We're not helping our pitcher out. Now he's putting extra stress on himself. Now he's throwing more balls because he feels like he has to play perfect in order for them to avoid putting the ball in play. And it spirals and it spirals and it spirals. So that's why we're trying to address it now. That way we don't get to that spiraling point. We go ahead and address it. Now, next game we come out, we make an error. Okay, so what? We got 9 guys that can make a play. Whoever the ball's hit to, they're going to make the play. It's fine. You just made the error, go make the next play. That's what we got to get to.
And you had a long talk with them out in the outfield too right after that game. And it seemed like whatever you told them and whatever things you had to address were addressed, because you go into a Hampton series where it's more crucial than the North Green game. When the North Green game's at a conference, it's in county. Of course, you want to win those county rivalries, but the conference games matter more, as everybody knows. So you go into those Hampton games where it matters more. You pick up a 16-4 win and an 11-0 win, 2 run rule wins over Hampton. Don't know if they ended up being run rule, but still 10-plus run margins Talk about how great that was to turn around after that bad loss to North Green to pick up 2 key games over Hampton.
When it's mattered the most, we've got the most out of our guys. And that's really encouraging, especially, we got tournament coming up here. It'll be here in no time. And in those crucial moments, we need our guys playing their best baseball. And like you said, the North Green game, yeah, it's a big game. We want to win it, but we need to win our conference. That's, at the end of the day, that's our goal, is to win our conference and to compete in a district and a region that's loaded with teams. So if we can go out and do that, it puts us in a good spot. If we're playing good ball when it comes to conference games, that's great. We'd like to get it every day of the week, though. We played really well against Hampton. I think Monday might be the best we've hit the baseball all year. Just reflecting back on the 16 runs we put on the board, all 9 guys in the lineup got hits. At least every player in the lineup had at least 1 hit. That's really encouraging. And we faced some decent pitching. They're no scrub of a baseball team. They got some good players. They've got some good talent. We really showed up. We showed up like that against North Green, we probably get a different result. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. The big thing is we got the conference wins. Monday might be the best we've hit the ball all year. Wednesday, we come out hot again. We cooled off towards the end of the game. Maybe we just got coasting a little bit. But it's really encouraging to see us come out. You look at the bottom of our lineup. Dominic started swinging the bat really well. We've been looking for him to get it going all year. He come out of basketball, was a little rusty, started swinging against Hampton. Had 3 really good swings, put hard hits in play. You look at guys like Collier's been effective all year. He does everything we ask of him. He makes plays. He gets bat on ball. He tries to get runs across the board when he gets the opportunity. We got so many guys stepping up. James is having a great year. Ben Palazzo's coming around. We've got the top of our order that goes without saying. Gavin Crum, Luke Myers, Lincoln Cutshaw, Christian Derry.
I think every game I've been to, Jake Hinkle's done a phenomenal job at the district.
And I was getting to him last because he, from an offensive perspective, gosh, he's probably got half our runs on the year. Just to be honest with you, he's probably got half our runs because he gets on base. Any way he's asked to get on base, whether it requires him getting a drag bunt down, working a walk, or squaring the ball up, he does all of those things really well. Then when he gets on first, he's got great speed, so he's a threat to score. So guys like that put us in a great position to win. And we've had guys stepping up, whether it be Randall Sauceman off the bench or, any guy. Brody played well behind the plate for us. We got guys stepping up, taking some initiative to put, I want the ball, coach. Let me get an opportunity. And it's really encouraging. So from that aspect, Monday and Wednesday went really well. We had multiple guys step up and deliver. We had Wednesday, looking back on yesterday, we had some great 2-out hitting. We had a couple situations there. If we don't have some 2-out hits and some key spots, it might have been a 4-0, 5-0 game, but we ended up getting the run rule, saved our pitchers some pitches because we come out with 2-out hits, and we're going to need more of that later on in the year, especially we see West Green again in the tournament. South Green next week. Games like that, where they're going to be tight, we expect them to be tight, we need those 2-out hits, and we're getting them right now, and we hope to continue to get that same thing moving forward.
So at the moment, 6-0 within the conference, got a pretty much a chokehold on everybody else with that 0 in the loss column. We'll talk about it a little bit as we shift forward into the second half, but we'll preview it just a tad. If you are able to beat South Green, I think that essentially locks up the regular season championship for you because you would be at 8 wins, and the worst you could do is go 8-2 when everybody else would have 3 wins up to that point. So with a sweep over South Green, that gives you the regular season championship, but a lot of work has to be done in those games to be able to get to that at the end of 7 innings, but we'll go ahead and preview that in just a minute. So we'll cut to break, and then right after this, we'll preview the South Green games and what's next on Chucky Doke's schedule right after this here on Grassroots Media.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Roberts with Southland Equipment. No matter how big or how small the job might be,
we've got the right equipment to get the job done.
We have one of the area's largest and best inventory of new Massey Ferguson, Premier, Cub Cadet, and Bush Hog tractors and mowers. Our Will Stock Parts department has everything you need. Belts, blades, hoses, and filters. From 1 horse to 120 horses, we'll take care of you in our service department. Hay equipment, we do that too.
whether you have 1 acre or 1,000, come by and see us at Southland Equipment.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Sand Meat Market Jacob Willett Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the Chucky Doak Black Knights baseball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Jacob Willett. Sand Meat Market, always like to shout them out. I know Coach Kyle Donahue did it in his basketball show. Don't know if there's any deals right now, but if you don't want to leave the house and you still want to have it delivered, they have local delivery on orders within a 30-mile radius of a minimum purchase of $100. And ordered by 10 a.m. Orders after 10 a.m. will be delivered the next business day. So if you don't want to leave the couch, you can order it online, and they'll have it delivered to you with a minimum purchase of $100. What's your favorite kind of meat?
I like steak.
Steak? Can't go wrong with steak. I know they've got lamb there. I've never had lamb. If I ever order from Sand Meat Market, that might be what I have to try.
It's good. I've had it before. Oh, yeah. It's different, but it's good. I like lamb.
Super Bowl next year. They need to have that wing deal again. They had a pretty good wing deal.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it was like 12 a pound of wings or something like that.
Can't beat that.
Can't beat that at all. But Sand Meat Market, shout out to them once again for sponsoring these shows. But looking forward at your schedule from now until the next time we sit down. Today, on Thursday that we're recording this, you originally had a game scheduled against FCA, but that game has been postponed. Do you know if you'll have a makeup date for it at the moment?
I do not. We're still trying to work it out with them and see. It's tough to find open dates here towards the end of the season, or towards the latter half of the season here. Everything's kind of booked up. The conference games, you got to get those in however you can, and it makes it difficult. But if we can find an open date that works for both teams, then absolutely we'll get it in. So I'll work with their coach there, and we'll try to get that made up. But not sure if it's going to happen yet. We're kind of 50-50 on it. So if it does happen, we'll get it out to our social medias. Follow our Instagram. If you haven't done so already, we put a lot of updates on there. You can find that at, I think it's CDHS_baseball_. So if you're looking for updates, you can get us there, and we'll put those updates out on there as well.
I'll drop both of those handles on the screen too, so you can easily find those, or I can drop the links also. We talked about the South Green games coming up next week on Monday and Tuesday. Sandwiched in between that, though, between the originally scheduled game against FCA and the 2-game series with South Green, you've got Crockett in a non-conference game on Friday. Talk about what you expect in that game, too, playing up a little bit against the 3A opponent.
Right. Well, you saw what we did last week against a non-conference opponent. It wasn't pretty. So we got to take these games seriously. And I know, coming from college, there was a thing called midweek mentality. So you got your conference series on the weekends.
You got your midweek
on Tuesday where you show up, you get your work in, then you get ready to go for the next conference series. I don't want us to have that midweek mentality where we just show up and play ball in non-conference games. I want us to come out and compete. That's what we're looking to do. So Crockett's a good team, but we also can play at a very high level. If we play at a high level that we do in conference series and that we've done all year up to the North Green game, which was kind of an anomaly last week, I expect it to be a good baseball game. We've got some good players. We got to learn to control emotions and handle adversity against a really good opponent. And we'll see that. Crockett's a really good baseball team. They're always good. They're a bigger school, but everybody's got an excuse. They're a bigger school, so what? Let's go compete. That's what I'm looking for our guys to do. Like we did against Unicoi, like we did against Cotton County, the bigger schools we've competed with. And I look forward for us to do the same thing.
And then you've got that pivotal series with South Green on Monday and Tuesday. We've already kind of touched on it, what that series holds and how much weight it holds. If you were able to sweep them, you outright win the regular season championship. If you split, there's a chance that South Green or West Green could still come back and tie you at the end of the season, but you ultimately want to avoid getting swept in the end too. In the right mindset, you want to go in both days and sweep them, win both games, take it day by day. What is your mindset going into that series with the Rebels?
Our mindset's win Monday. We win Monday, we put ourselves in a good spot, just like we did against West Green. We won the first game. Any game after that's a bonus. So we show up, we win the first one, then we go take the second one. That's our mentality. We got to have one. We got to have one. Whether it's Monday or Tuesday, we'd love to get the first one so we don't got to stress the second day. But we got to have one. So we'll be looking to do that. One win puts us in a really good spot. One win, we're in a good spot where we can go, win 2 of our last 3 conference games to go secure the conference. That's what we'll be looking to do, win 1. If we win 2, fantastic. If we win 1, that's great. We just got to go win 2 more against Johnson County. So it puts us in a spot. We want it. We have to get 1. 1's essential. We'd love to get 2. So if we get 1, great. We get 2, that's fantastic.
I forget that Johnson County is the only one that you haven't played this year. You're making that dreadful trip up to Johnson County at the very end of the season, I see.
Yeah, it'll be a fun trip.
It's not as bad from Chuckydoke, is it? How long is it from here?
It feels like an eternity.
That's true.
It's I don't know how the conference alignment works out, but that's a long haul for us, and it's like an hour and a half, I think, for all the county schools here. So
I know from West Green, I live out on the western side of the county. It's an hour and 50.
Yeah,
it's a long trip from there.
Like I said, I don't know how the conference alignment works. I don't get paid enough to manage that.
It's a little above your pay grade.
But that's a haul for any of the county schools here. So, I mean, it'd be a lot easier to roll over and play North Green here down the road, but I don't make those decisions. We'll see. We got them in 2 weeks, I think. We'll make the drive and hopefully go win a couple baseball games.
It's good that you get kind of a little break in between your conference series because you had the West Green one rolled over right into Hampton. Now you're rolling over right into South Green. Get a little bit of a break between South Green and Johnson County just in case things don't go your way. Get South Green. You have enough time right there that you can kind of fix things.
Right. And, well, if we don't win one, we'll be in a spot, So our goal is to win Monday. We win Monday, it puts us in a great position. Our goal going into the season was win the conference. Our goal after we win the conference is to win the region. So you can't win the conference if you lose both games on Monday and Tuesday. So our goals are in front of us, what our guys have worked for, what we talked about in the offseason. What we've worked for is here. These guys just got to go out and grasp the moment and seize it. So it'll put us in a good spot. Come postseason, we win a game Monday, and that's what we're looking to do.
The most comfortable feeling is knowing when you can handle things yourself. You don't need any help from any outside factors, and you've still got that ahead of you with South Green on Monday and Tuesday. But until then, Coach, I appreciate you sitting down with me once again. Always a pleasure. Thank you to Sam Meat Market once again for sponsoring us, and thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Sam Meat Market Jacob Willett Show. Look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.